Hello and welcome to the SU News. This week's news program brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism here at Suffolk University. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Katie Martineau.
Coming up, we'll take a look at one person's experience during the Brussels attacks and sit down with an interview about two men discussing how they've been affected by Islamophobia.
But first, let's check in with Eleni Mata, who has weather for us. Eleni?
Thanks, Katie. We're looking okay today. We're actually going to see a lot more sun later on in the week. But Mother Nature is throwing us a little bit of a curveball, especially on Sunday. To see what that is, stay tuned for weather later on in the show.
Welcome to SU News. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Chaos broke out at the U.S. Capitol complex after shots were fired on Monday. Police shot and wounded a suspected gunman in the Capitol's Visitors Center after he pulled out a gun after setting off the metal detector. The entire complex was immediately put on lockdown as tourists ran for cover. The suspect was identified as a Tennessee man and was said to have suffered from non-life-threatening injuries.
Careful where you walk. New Jersey State Assemblywoman Pamela Lambert has introduced a bill that could have you thinking twice about texting and walking. The distracted walking bill could fine pedestrians $50 or even give you 15 days in jail. If you're caught texting and walking, this bill comes after a hike of insurance caused by people being distracted on their smartphones. Over a week ago, terror struck the Belgian capital of Brussels. Two suicide bombings at the national airport and metro station claimed the lives of 35 civilians while hurting 300 more. I was able to get in contact with a Belgian student and friend of mine about his recap from this terrible day.
Directly, I saw that my sister sent me a text to ask me if I was fine. So I didn't know what happened. So I just told her, yeah, I'm fine. What's going on? And then I saw on the newspaper that so what happened at the airport in Zaventem. Actually, I didn't feel really scared about it because I don't know, it's lately in the past few months in Brussels we heard a lot of things about about explosion, but then it didn't really happen. So at first I thought that it wasn't real. Then I realized that something really happened in Zaventem at the airport, so I was a bit scared. I was on my way to my university. I heard what happened in the metro station, and then I realized that something was really going on in Brussels, and then it was something big. And then I was scared when I heard about the metro station, because actually some of my friends could have been in this metro.
Jordan went on to say that Belgium is a very outgoing and happy country. He believes they will not back down to terrorism and will continue to show the world how strong of a country they are. Stay tuned next week. I'll have more from this interview.
Here in the U.S., Muslim Americans are not only worried about how they are viewed here, but also how they are seen worldwide. SU News recently sat down with two students from the Boston area to hear their experiences.
Most recently, I was in Switzerland during the winter break, and I was speaking to Muhammad about it afterwards. I was like, dude, I have never experienced such racism in my life as I did there. I was with a Turkish friend of mine, me and my brother. We're visibly Muslim. I have a beard. I think they associate sort of my image to an Arab, Middle Eastern, perhaps Southeast Asian male. And we would ask people to take pictures of us at these beautiful waterfalls, the Swiss Alps, right in the city of Zurich, and they would just blatantly refuse.
We will have more on this next week.
Pez Candy Company was forced to abruptly cancel their Easter egg hunt celebration in Orange, Connecticut this past Sunday. The Happy Easter celebration turned into a parenting breakdown, and it wasn't the children who were behaving badly. The free egg hunt was called for after parents rushed onto the field to try to collect their 10,000 eggs for their children. The behavior turned into madness as children were pushed and knocked to the ground.
The City of Boston Inspectional Services Department forced a Stop and Shop to close after a customer filed a complaint on Friday. Officials visited the store on Blue Hill Avenue in Roxbury the same day and found evidence of mice and other unsanitary conditions. The store was advised to clean up, but a follow-up visit on Monday showed no improvement. The Roxbury Stop and Shop store will remain closed until the conditions are corrected and may request a hearing within 10 days of its closing date.
Attending college does not come cheap. Students today are up to their eyeballs in student debt and loans. Suffolk University's reporter Aubrey Dunham sat down with a senior at Suffolk who has a unique understanding of student finances.
North Andover native Victoria Ireton grew up leading a normal life. That was until her family's life took a turn for what most would consider to be the worst.
My mom became sick. She had cancer and eventually had to leave her job. Eventually, with one income, we lost the house in 2008.
Victoria found herself needing to fill some very large shoes during her high school years.
I ended up working a part-time job that turned into full-time while I was still in high school.
Despite her adversity, Ireton was accepted to 14 of the 17 colleges she applied to. Ireton's dreams did not end with attending college. She's now giving back to other Suffolk students through her very own financial literacy program.
And then to top it off, the job that she got couldn't support it. And she's calling me, she's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Ireton discusses the best way for students to approach their debt prior to their graduation.
I started educating students about statistics around student loans, I would say sophomore year of college. The actual program developed off of all that my senior year.
Ireton has high hopes for her program in the future.
I plan to expand the program. I'm hopefully going to institute it permanently at Suffolk so that students will always have that opportunity to learn more about personal finance and also just gain a practical skill that's great for, employers but also themselves.
Following graduation, Ireton plans to continue her work as a finance assistant at Seth Moulton for Congress.
Thanks, Aubrey. We could all benefit from learning more about managing student debt.
Up next, a new scholarship has been created after the unfortunate death of a Charlestown teen.
And Massachusetts students are in for a new series of state tests. We'll be right back.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow!
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Katie Martnow.
A new driving service exclusively for women is launching in Boston April 19th. The Massachusetts-based startup, aptly named Chariot for Women, will employ only women drivers who only pick up female customers. A former Boston Uber driver has founded the company and said the fares would be comparable to competitors but would not include surge pricing.
An act of senseless violence gave a Charlestown family their worst nightmare back in 2014. 1 year later, their memory and anguish continue to live on.
We hear the footsteps coming in the door, and we think it's Ryan. And, you think, you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, it can't be true still. And then you get through the day, and it's bedtime, and you gotta fight every minute.
Ryan, or more commonly known by his friends as Deuce, was well known by almost everyone in Charlestown, thanks to his infectious personality. But no one ever thought someone would hurt him.
My son called Craig and said, Ryan's been shot. I'm like, Craig, calm down. It's not what Ryan. He's like, our Ryan. I'm like, why would our Ryan get shot? You know, like, he doesn't have a beef with anybody.
Just over 1 year ago, 17-year-old Ryan Morrissey's life was taken from him too soon. He was shot while leaving the A1 convenience store after being mistakenly targeted as someone else.
Older kids younger than me who, have written stuff about him saying, he's got the best ideal personality and this, that, and everything else. And it's like, and then the younger kids below him who were saying, oh, he was the coolest kid, he was the funniest kid, you know what I mean? Always said hi to me.
Here at Eden Park, right across the street from his home, Ryan spent his days playing roller hockey with his friends from Charlestown, a community that is still reeling from tragedy.
They made shirts, they've made pins, up there we got a Converse made sneakers, and it's a lot of, it's like you said, this was...
Yeah, there's a whole apparel of Ryan wear.
Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everybody knows him. Everybody knew him.
The case is pending in the Suffolk Superior Court, and although Morrissey's parents are not allowed to talk about it, they hope it will bring justice for their son. New poll numbers show the Democratic race is closer than some may think, after Bernie Sanders won in Washington, Alaska, and Hawaii this past weekend. After a series of wins earlier this month, Hillary Clinton finds herself in a closer race than she expected. National support for Clinton stands at 49%, while Sanders' support is up to 43%.
This time next year, students in the Bay State will be enduring a new era of standardized testing. Massachusetts schools have been preparing for the first overhaul of standardized tests since the MCATs were introduced almost 2 decades ago. Jeanette Orihel has more on what this new test will mean for a student.
That's right, Casey. This new assessment raises concerns for parents who are concerned about their students being over-tested. But the state's Board of Elementary and Secondary Education believes now is the time for this new era of standardized testing.
Students across Massachusetts will soon be seeing changes in their current standardized testing. The Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System, or MCAS, has been the state's standards-based assessment for almost 2 decades. Now, school districts across 11 states will be adopting a new exam known as the PARCC test, or Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers. As some districts began to pilot the test 2 years ago for grades 3 through 11, others like the Dedham Public Schools decided to wait until more information was released about the new exam.
Once we heard in November that the state was clearly making a jump toward a much more PARCC-like exam, we thought it was incumbent on us to make sure that our students were prepared, and we didn't want to stay with MCAS one more year just to cross our fingers and hope it would get derailed. At this point, the vote has been taken, the ship has sailed, we need to be on it.
Dedham Public Schools will be one of the school districts in the state to begin transitioning from the MCAS exam to the PARCC test. They're doing this in hopes of better preparing their students for the MCAS 2.0, which will be the state's new standardized testing beginning in the spring of 2017.
The MCAS 2.0 will be a hybrid of the state's current MCAS exam and the PARCC test, designed to be taken online. All schools statewide are expected to be fully administering computer-based testing by 2019.
This is just a transition. It is more challenging. Most people are saying that the PARCC exam and the assessments are more challenging year over year, and they're holding kids to a higher standard. And overall, that's good.
However, concerns have been raised for students with individualized education programs, or IEP.
The accommodations for special education students for the MCAS exam were rather extensive. So there is a lot of debate right now about whether or not it's considered a fair assessment for students with individualized education plans.
Although the new test format will need to be developed further to meet all students' needs, the MCAS 2.0 is expected to equip students with the broadest set of skills that will prepare them for life beyond high school.
Massachusetts public schools currently rank first in the nation for highest standardized test scores. And although some say the MCAS will not elevate Massachusetts from its current standing, many are optimistic about the MCAS 2.0 and believe raising the standards will benefit students in the long run. Live in the State House, I'm Jeanette Orihel, Suffolk News.
Thanks, Jeanette. Wow, Casey, did you know that Mass was among the highest for test scores?
I don't know. It's great for those students and all the hard work that they're putting in, to get those grades. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the weather for the week and a chance to see the possibility of public art in Boston.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Hey? God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute. You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Katie Martineau. We thought we were out of winter, but it looks like we could get some snow still. Let's go to Eleni Mata with the forecast for the week ahead. How's it looking out there today?
Thanks, Katie. We finally hit a Wednesday with no rain, but let's take a look at New England first. Up in the northern region, especially with Maine, we're still hitting the low 40s, but heading towards the mid 40s up in the 50s. Now, obviously, if we go down south over here in New Hampshire and Vermont, we're hitting the mid 50s, higher 50s going into 60s. Now, let's take a look at what Massachusetts looks like today. If we can see it. Now, of course, with Massachusetts right now, we are hitting the 57, 56 range. Now, we are, of course, getting a lot of warmer weather, especially heading into April. We are getting into April this week, and no surprise that we're actually getting a lot of rain. So let's look at the 5-day forecast from here. Starting on Wednesday, we're getting 56 today, low 42, but the wind is really going to take over not just today, but for the rest of the week. Winds are starting at 14 miles per hour, and when we hit towards the evening, it's going to go to 15. As we reach to Thursday, it's the highest temperatures that we have for this week at 66, low 57. Now, not too much wind, but a lot of humidity is going to come up at about 74%. That's because rain is coming in on Thursday evening to head into Friday. Rain will happen all day on Friday with a high of 62, low of 45. A lot of wind also will be coming in, so watch out for those tunnels around Boston. On Saturday, we're going to get the sun back up again, high 52, low 38. Of course, just to mention a little bit, we are going to get a little bit of thunderstorms going into Friday night on to Saturday. Humidity will still hit us on Saturday. Of course, running into Sunday, we're going to get rain one more time, but no surprise that we're going to get rain in April, high 42, low 25. Notice it's the coldest of the week so far, but we're actually looking forward to the higher temperatures that are coming later on. For weather, I'm Eleni Mata. Back to you, Casey and Katie.
Thank you, Eleni. The streets of Boston are going to get a lot more colorful this spring. Let's go to our reporter Shauna Newcomb to find out what is going to make the city a little prettier. Shauna?
A translation from one language to another is what's printed on the mural just behind me. The artist's message behind last year's mural here in the Greenway of Boston is to promote conversation amongst Bostonians. Now, not only is that one of the goals, but it's also another goal is to brighten up the city. See how Mayor Marty Walsh is also hopping on that initiative to bring art to the city of Boston.
April showers bring May flowers, and that's not all. A redo for the concrete jungle of Boston. It's hard to come across a little color, but what if it finds you? That's Mayor Marty Walsh's goal to brighten the city.
All the great work and all the great art on the walls
brings life to the building.
But is the art really getting noticed?
I do walk by daily.
It's very fun and refreshing to see a piece of modern street art.
And if last year's murals aren't your favorite,
last year's had a lot more going on, was just more interesting to look at.
With spring comes new life, and for Boston, the thrill of new art. The annual change of art is expected to take place next month, and also the city of Boston is releasing a few details about what's to come, although not much, but it is presumed to be a great surprise here on this mural by this time next year. Reporting live from Boston's Greenway, I'm Shauna Newcomb.
Thank you, Shauna. Coming up next, we'll check out what's going on with Suffolk sports as well as a March Madness update.
And also a look at a new IndyCar racetrack on the streets of South Boston. We'll be right back.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Hey Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Katie Martineau. Spring is finally here, although it may not feel like it. So let's see how Suffolk's teams have started their seasons with Michaela Pyrus. Michaela?
Thank you, Katie. Suffolk sports are underway and the season is off to a promising start for men's baseball. The team took both games in their doubleheader Saturday at Rhode Island College. The Rams defeated the Anchormen 5-2 in the first game and 13-0 to follow. Starters Chuck Gibson and Kevin Sinatra certainly stole the day. Gibson gave up only 2 runs in 7 innings for the first game, and Sinatra earned the shutout, first of the season and first of the freshman from East Boston's career. Men's tennis also picked up a victory this past weekend, the first of their season against Wheelock. Coming off a 9-0 loss on Thursday to Wentworth, Alonso Vela and Francisco Sayas swept their first 2 sets in singles play. Their next match is tomorrow against UMass Boston. Like they say, unfortunately, when it rains, it does pour. After a wet weekend in New England, the softball team's home opener scheduled for this past Saturday was canceled. The Lady Rams will take the field this afternoon for a doubleheader against Emerson. As for March Madness, I'm sure many of us are no longer paying attention to our perfect brackets. I know I'm not. This weekend, both #1 teams, Kansas and Oregon, were eliminated. I picked the Jayhawks to go all the way. Oklahoma's Buddy Hield scored an explosive 37 points and even impressed Kobe Bryant, who attended the game against Oregon. #2 seeds Villanova and Oklahoma played this Saturday at 6:09, followed by the only #1 seed left, UNC, versus #10 seed Syracuse. For Suffolk Sports Report, I'm Michaela Pires. Back to you, Casey and Katie.
Michaela, South Boston is the quickest developing part of the city, and one group hopes to bring a huge revenue through a national competition.
That's right. South Boston is going to be the first urban area in the U.S. to host a Grand Prix race. Our Matt Cull takes a look at the twists and turns of the track in Southie.
Tickets recently went on sale for Boston's first auto race, so we sat down with the president of Grand Prix Boston for some more information.
We're bringing an event to the city that's going to bring a big economic boost on Labor Day weekend. You know, the local restaurants, hotels, everybody's going to get a boost. And we're getting a lot of backing from the local business community.
But Boston's Grand Prix won't be your average race.
This is very different. This is a large metropolitan area. A lot of the other Grand Prix are held almost on airport grounds.
Being the first race of its kind, the Boston Grand Prix has attracted some understandable opposition from South Boston residents. In response, the Grand Prix has organized monthly community discussions at the Boston Convention Center.
This is a very expensive race, the most expensive race ever put on. The city and the state have gotten behind us. It's been a collaborative effort. We see ourselves as a big event coming into the city, and the way the city and the state are looking at it is that we're the first ones through the door.
Despite concern, the Grand Prix plans to leave South Boston in better condition than they found it.
We're going to pave the roads for the community. You know, there is a plan in place to run a train down through the area. I think what we're doing is taking a lot of things that will be done by the state anyhow and taking it off the taxpayers' bond.
The race is scheduled for September 2nd and is promised to be family friendly. For SU News, I'm Matt Kuehl.
Katie, this could be a very cool race, getting all the traffic off the streets and letting the people of Boston really get to the streets and, you know, drive quick.
Yeah, I think they're really going to enjoy it.
When we come back, we'll take a look at our very own Dancing with the Stars competition. See you soon.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
We're leaving. Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. I'm Casey Hall.
And I'm Katie Martineau.
After 22 years, welcome back to the jungle. The legendary rock and roll band Guns N' Roses is back for a reunion tour with the original lineup. The band surprised everyone last week by posting a short video listing 21 North American cities they'll be playing this summer. This will be the first time in over 2 decades where singer Axl Rose and guitarist Slash will share the same stage. Since 1993, they've since repaired their friendship. Dates and venues have not been announced, but don't fret, Boston fans, our city is on the list.
Ben Affleck's new Boston-based crime drama will hit theaters October 20th of 2017. The Prohibition-era drama, Live by Night, began filming in October 2015. Affleck directs and stars in the movie, some of which was filmed in Boston's North End. The movie has a star-studded cast, including Zoe Saldana, Sienna Miller, Elle Fanning, and Scott Eastwood.
Suffolk University hosted our very own Dancing with the Stars competition. Lon, can you tell us about what was so special about it?
Yes. Dancing with the Stars returned this year at Sewage Theater, where students and faculty could match up in the dance competition. The winner will donate the money to a charity of their own choice.
Wow, it's chicken dance. Dancing with the Stars returned with Suffolk University President Margot McKenna on Thursday night. She brought the house down when she took off her jacket. Studio 73, Brian and Brianna burned the house down. After months' practice, they are ready to feast on the glittering show.
I think it's a fun thing to bring the community together and with students, faculty, and staff. So I think anytime you can do that, it's a great opportunity.
How do you feel right now?
I'm just glad it's over. But I had a good time.
Well, it's Unity Week. It's a great week for Suffolk University in general.
Yeah, and we also decided to do it to help out the organization we chose, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And we feel
Winning Kevin and Alexander are going to donate the money to the Boston Children's Hospital.
As always, thank you for watching this week's SU News here at Studio 73.
For Casey Hall, I'm Katie Martineau. We'll see you next week.